I know that Brad normally says we'll open it up to questions, and that's what we'll always do. But I just wanted to say thank you to the students, the former students, the community, season ticket holders. Over the last month and a half, I think that their support and their energy has completely changed the environment at Reed. I think it's become a distinct home court advantage, and we appreciate it. I do, our players do, the coaches do, our families do. To be able to come to work on game day and have that level of support it's been phenomenal. And I know tomorrow is a big day. I think tomorrow is the 17th home game. And I'm saying this with the right tone of voice and with the right intent of heart. I think it's really important that all of our energy, all of our signs, all of our words, all of our actions are in support of our players. That's it. Some of the things that are going on that we can't control, the coverage, some of the things that are happening at other arenas, I don't think that reflects the core values of Texas A&M, and we don't need to participate. So thank you for coming. Thank you in advance for being here tomorrow and the support that you'll give our guys, but I think that should be the extent of it. All right, Brad, you can say what you always say.
Questions? Buzz, Dexter Dennis' situation, his status?
Sprained his knee, and he's rehabbing, seems to be doing fine, just step by step, but I think he'll be fine. I have no idea. Today's an important day. Shoot around tomorrow's an important day. So not trying to keep anything from you. It just depends.
I know you keep blinders on, but were you tuned into the Alabama Auburn game?
Yeah, I love watching games on Wednesday when we play on Tuesday, particularly if we win on Tuesday. I watched all of those games. Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Mizzou, Auburn, Alabama. It's about the only hour and a half that I allow myself to be a fan on a Wednesday night when we play on a Tuesday. So, yeah, I watched all of them. I got to watch them with my family, which was even better than normal.
Do y'all have more to play for than Alabama tomorrow?
Oh, I can't speak to anything with the opponent. Has any team at Texas A&M ever won 15 games in conference?
Not in my lifetime.
Yeah, because it's never happened. Only one team has finished with the undefeated conference record. That was the same team coached by Coach Metcalf. It's another quad one game. I think Alabama's 2 in the net. Tennessee's 3. That'd be maybe something that's important to the committee. So I can't speak to the opponent.
Wade told us that y'all started talking about winning, the possibility of setting that record after the Florida win in first conference game of the year.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the right way, Brent. I'm just as transparent with our players as I am with you guys. I don't know that that's necessarily the right way to lead, but I think when they know the truth and that when you speak, you're telling them what you believe to be true, I think it helps. And I think the smarter your players are, the more receptive they are to the message. And Forr's very intelligent. And so he carries that message to others and presents it in a way that maybe my message didn't get across. And I think, like I mentioned the other day when I was here, I think the response of our guys, the consistency, regardless of result, has been as good as I've ever seen. 18 games is 9 weeks. It's a long time. There's a lot of variables in play, some that you can control, some that you can't control. But I think the consistency of our guys, the work ethic, I think our staff has been elite in preparation for those games. I think we only lost one mirror opponent game. I think that's big in an 18-game schedule. So, yeah.
Alabama has won their last 3 games kind of in the last few minutes. Auburn obviously was up, I think, 16 or 17, 10 or 11 minutes left. What, from your observations, like, what's made them so hard to be put away in those last couple of minutes?
Well, they're ultra talented. Number 1 offense, number 1 defense in the league, second fastest team in the country. 45% of their possessions are in transition. 86% of their shots are either literally in the charge circle or threes. It's money ball with multiple NBA players, and they're just as good defensively as they are offensively. I don't know. I know it's 2 overtime games, and I think they won the middle game of that sandwich by 3, I think. Yeah, I don't necessarily think maybe that they've played their best from start to finish, but like again, I just studied them as a whole, so I can't speak to exactly what coach would say on that. But it's really hard to go 16-1 in conference play at the Power 5 level. I think UCLA's lost 2 games this year in the Pac-12. Not sure that any other team has less than 1 or 2 or 3 losses at the Power 5 level. So it just speaks to how good they are and how good they are at how they want to play. I think that's a big part of it.
Generally speaking, the conversation right now with transfer portal and everything is you want to get older, you want to get more experienced.
Yeah.
Is it a little bit, I know one and dones or freshmen has been a thing in years past, but is it a little bit more unique the way Alabama was able to do it this year with the kind of young guys that they have on the team?
I think they you have to look this up, Travis, because it's something I write on my game charts. I think they have 6 transfers and 4 freshmen in their top 10. Furman, Ohio, Wofford, Texas Tech. 24 is a freshman, 0 is a freshman, 14 is a returner, he's a sophomore. Clowney's a freshman. I think it's a balance. And, you know, I also think, like, it's like anything, like, is there a role for them that fit your team? Regardless of age, is there a role? And then can they fill that role successfully from a production standpoint? I don't think 24 is going to be at the University of Alabama next year, but there's other players on their team that's not going to be there next year. So it is their talent. Is it the age of their talent? I think it's just the combination, and the role definition obviously has fit very well with this year's team.
Can you compare Miller with players you either coached or coached against? Somebody that kind of sticks out to you with his size and his abilities?
Yeah, I mean, he's a lottery pick. He's very comfortable with the ball in his hands. He's a plus 40% three-point shooter. Catch and shoot, he shoots 49%. Off the bounce, he shoots 33% from behind the three. Those are stellar numbers with somebody with that size. Really comfortable making decisions with the ball. And they have multiple guys. Everybody on their team can shoot. I think that 24 and 1 get a lot of attention, and they're deserving of it. But they're going to play with a minimum of 4 shooters on the floor at all times because, I mean, 50% of their shots come from 3. They're averaging 33s per game. So it's not just 2 guys. I mean, it's everybody. I don't know. I off the top of my head, I'm not sure who I would necessarily compare him to. Ultra talented, though.
Without Dexter, you guys, I obviously started Andre. Manny was back in the lineup. And you guys used some lineups I'm not sure you've used this season. I'm just
Correct.
wondering how you think that went at Ole Miss, and what do you think worked, what kind of didn't work?
Well, I think Dex has been, in many respects, the heart and soul of our group. He guards the best player. He's for sure the most mature, incredibly competitive. He's our leading rebounder. I think going into the Ole Miss game, I think he was 9th in the league in rebounding. And everybody in that group above him is significantly bigger and taller than him. The thing I was most concerned with were, I know he's a double-figure scorer. Who can guard number 11 from Ole Miss? I don't know if we succinctly answered that question. And then can we defensive rebound? I thought Dre was phenomenal in that regard. Had 6 defensive rebounds. I thought 4 was great. Had 4. We had 24 defensive rebounds, I think, and 18 came from our guards. They were very aware that Dex wasn't playing and how important he is to us on the glass. I think they did great. And I think it worked out for Mo to be able to get some of those minutes relative to Dex not being there. So I think it kind of made it easier without feeling that pressure. And now whenever Dex comes back, if he plays tomorrow, if he plays next week, however that plays out, like I told our guys, we need to take I think we had started 15 games with that group. Okay, Dex is not going to start, nor is he going to play. How can we take this opportunity to learn something that seems harmful and turn it to good throughout the rest of the month? And in some regards, I thought Mo threw a lot of good pitches. I didn't think he tried to have a grand entrance. I didn't think he tried to hit a home run. And he's a fresh body. He's been gone for 8 weeks. And so he doesn't know everything that we're doing, nor should he. But he does have talent that can help us. But he's not just going to be able to step out there after missing 8 weeks and just like, okay, everything's fine. So yeah, I was encouraged by a lot of that, particularly on the defensive glass.
A couple questions about Julius. He said that he was only in the portal for a couple hours before you guys reached out. What made him stand out to you? And then also, how would you describe his impact so far this season?
He's won us games. He's so comfortable with his back to the basket. And I think I may have said it to Travis a couple of weeks ago. You know, sometimes guys that are comfortable around the basket, they don't want anybody being physical. I actually think that he's better when his defender is physical. It's like he wants his Baja to get hit, and then he's like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. And he's just so comfortable with the ball. To the portal question, I don't know if we went about it the right way. It was exhausting. We went on a 15-day tour. And we kind of divided up. It's too long of a story, but we had home base and we had files on all potential people, synergy, clips, numbers, etc. And so as soon as somebody hit the portal, do you have the dad's number? Do you have the mom's number? Do you have the coach's number? Do we know anybody? And then we just kept moving. Never came home. It was exhausting. And so it just worked out timing wise. We were in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at Culver's, double cheeseburger, meat and cheese, small cheese curd, small fry, small onion ring, small concrete mixer, Oreo and cookie dough. When he hit the portal. And we were in Milwaukee visiting with the guard that ended up going to Texas. I knew his brother. He used to work our camps when we were at Marquette. And I called Jew and said, hey, can you meet us at the FBO? And no Culver finish and went straight to whatever the name of that town is near East Lansing where the airport is. And then came back that night. And the next morning, went and visited with Muffin, his mom. She is like one of the more incredible ladies I've ever met. Was scheduled to be there an hour and a half. I stayed with her 4.5 hours. The assistants were in a car on the side of the road, and we missed our next appointment. We messed up the plane. I remember all of it, but the combination of he and Henry has been so good. And the accountability that Andy and Solo have brought to Henry and Jew have made that foursome arguably as good of a forward combination as I've been able to be around on a team.
We've got to get Coach to film. So.
Thank you, guys.